Alright class, we are going to have a guest speaker today. His name is Hardin Clay. However, you need to call him Mr. Clay. Does anybody have any questions before we begin?
Oh, me. I do have a question.
And what's that, Ivy, my dear?
Are we still going to the farm next week for our field trip? I am excited to learn about the pesticides they spray on our crops to keep the food safe from bugs.
We sure are, Ivy. And you will be able to learn all about that. Does anybody else have any questions?
No questions here.
What about you, David?
No, I don't have anything to ask Miss Harper.
Okay, well, without further suspense, I would like to introduce you all to Mr. Hardin Clay.
Good morning, class. Today I am going to talk to you about the environment.
The environment. We're only in third grade. What does the environment have to do with us?
Well, let's talk about your field trip that is planned for next week. I want you kids to understand that it is important to help the environment and not hurt it.
My dad is a farmer. And he does not hurt the environment. He plants beans and corn on the land and fertilizes the soil. And those are good things.
There is no need to get upset, young man. I understand that your father does not mean to hurt the environment. That is why I am here today. I am going to teach you about pesticides.
Wait. Isn't that what our field trip next week is supposed to be for?
Well, let's talk about how pesticides affect the environment, and then we will see if you will still be going on the field trip. First of all, has anybody here ever heard of the word neonicotinoids?
Nope.
I have no idea what you are talking about.
I've never heard that word either, Mr. Clay.
A neonicotinoid is a type of pesticide used on many crops in the United States. It has been shown to not only deter, but kill the insects that ingest it. Farmers are using it despite its negative impact on the environment.
What does that have to do with us?
Well, it is important for kids to understand how different chemicals and other things affect the environment so that you can educate your children on the importance of being mindful of the world around you. The more people who know about the negative impacts that man-made chemicals have on animals, climate, and the health of all people, the more we'll try to do more to help the environment.
So, the chemicals my family uses on our plants is bad for our health and for the environment.
Yes, that is probably the case. It can harm the environment and the animals living in it, as well as be toxic to human health if it is ingested.
If all of this is true, then what can we do to help the environment be safer for both humans and animals?
The most important thing is to spread education. Talk to people about how chemicals of all kinds can have negative effects in the world. Some easy things you can do would be to encourage people to recycle. Also, conduct science projects on which chemicals are less harmful to the environment. As you get older, keep educating yourself about how things affect the environment, and if you have any questions, just give me a call.
Okay class, that is all the time Mr. Clay has for today. Can you each tell him one thing you have learned before he has to leave?
I'm going to talk to my dad about some other options for keeping the bugs off of our plants. This way, we aren't hurting the environment.
That sounds like a good plan.
I'm going to start recycling at my house so that we can reuse plastics and reduce the amount of chemicals that come out of those big factories.
That sounds lovely, my dear.
And I want to do my science project on chemicals and other products that have minimal harmful effects on the environment. Is that okay with you, Miss Harper?
That sounds wonderful, David. Thank you for coming to talk to my class today, Mr. Clay.
It was my pleasure, Miss Harper. Thank you for having me. Just make sure you change that field trip next week and take a trip to the recycle center instead.
We will be sure to do that.
Farewell, class. Have a great day.